PBX is where you can configure your business call flow using a simple drag and drop web interface. Just take any of the menu objects and drag into your working area. In this video, we will create a basic call flow with one inbound phone number, a single user, and one SIP device. We will also configure the voicemail to email feature. Please note, objects like inbound number, user, device, and some others should be purchased via the Order Services tab. For this example, we have already purchased one inbound phone number, a user, and device license. Let's start with the inbound phone number object. Drag and drop it into the working area and click the gear button to configure. Type in a name for this object. Click on the number you previously purchased in the list of available numbers, and then click the right arrow button to include this number in the call flow. You can select multiple numbers in the same object and connect all numbers to the next element in the call flow. Alternatively, you can create multiple inbound number objects and point each number object to different parts of the call flow. Now we just click Save. Say we want this inbound number to be diverted to an external number. For example, you may have a virtual receptionist service that you want to use to answer your calls. To do this, take a call diversion object. Click on the gear button. Specify an external phone number to divert calls to by clicking Add. External number, type in the number, and click Add again. You can add multiple external numbers and select Ring Mode to ring all of them together at the same time, or Hunt, where the system will ring each number in sequence one after another. You can also adjust ring time using the slider. The on-off toggle switch can be used to temporarily disable diversion. The little cross that shows up when you mouse over here allows you to remove this number from the group. You can mouse over other settings to get hints with descriptions about what functions it performs. For this example, we will switch on Call Confirm feature because we don't want calls being connected to remote voicemail systems if our virtual assistant is unavailable. Last step is to type in the name and click the Save button. Now that we have two objects, we can link them together to create a very simple call flow. If this is all you wanted, simply click the Apply Configuration button and now your inbound phone number is diverted to an external phone number. Say now you decided to connect an IP phone to the system so that you can make and receive calls. We will also change the call flow to route calls to you first, before they are overflown to your virtual receptionist. For this, we first have to create and configure a user object and then also create a SIP device linked to this new user object. Let's insert a new user object in between the existing inbound number and call diversion. To configure user object, click on the gear button and enter name for this user. You can also modify default internal number if required. Next, we will select call plan. If you don't want this user to be able to make outbound calls, leave not selected value in this field. Dial plan field allows you to specify default locations for this user and prefix that the system will add to phone numbers this user dials. Caller ID field allows you to select what number will be presented as your caller ID when you are making outbound calls. In the options section, you can enable outbound call recordings to be emailed to the specific email address. All call recordings as well as voicemails are immediately emailed out and are not stored by the system. For inbound call recording, you can use call recording object from main menu. Just insert it in the call flow. Here you can also select music on hold and enable call confirm feature. Now we need to add user contact methods. Those could be VoIP phone, an external phone number, or Skype for Business account. Each VoIP phone requires a single SIP device account to be configured. Now, because we want to connect to VoIP phone, we will select SIP device in this dropdown. We haven't created any SIP devices yet. The system will ask us to create one. We could do it here by simply clicking on the Create New SIP Device button, or by using SIP Devices menu at the bottom section of the main screen. Let's just click Create New SIP Device button. Tick Newly Created SIP Device to add to this user. This first SIP device could be used for your desk phone. You could also add more devices here if required, for example to use on your smartphone or laptop. You could also specify external phone numbers, like your mobile, so that you can receive calls even when you are out of the office. It may be wise to enable Call Confirm feature if you have external phone numbers listed in your user object to prevent calls going to your mobile voicemail. Please note, It is important to click Apply Configuration button if you created a new SIP device before trying to register your handset. Click Save and Apply Configuration button. If the call is not answered by you or your virtual assistant, we want it to be sent to a voicemail. Let's take Voicemail Object. Click on Gear button, enter the name for this voicemail, and enter email address where you want recorded voicemails to be sent to. You can add multiple email addresses if required. Now, let's record a voicemail greeting. You can choose between our default greeting, no greeting, or a custom greeting. Select Custom Greeting. You can see two buttons. Green allows you to upload a WAV file, red allows you to initiate a callback to one of your devices or external number. Let's use external phone number. Select external number in the drop-down and enter your number. Click Call to Record button. Your phone will ring, wait for a beep and record your new custom greeting. Hang up the call once finished, wait a second or two. You can check the recording by pressing the play button, and if all is good, just click Save Recording and save again. Don't forget to click Apply Configuration button. We will now briefly look at the Settings menu. Settings menu allows you to upload your own custom music on hold, change time zone, create your own custom dial plans. Dial plans could be fairly complex, so please feel free to contact us if you need custom dial plans created for a location not yet listed. We now have a basic working call flow with a few objects. If your call flow is more complex, it may not fit on one screen. To make it simpler to manage, you can create multiple tabs here. To connect objects on different tabs, just drag and drop a connection line to the tabs like this. We now have a link from tab 1 to tab 2. To revert changes, you can use the Undo feature here. Last important section to review is SIP Devices menu. This is where you can find all information required to connect IP phones to the system. Here, you can add new SIP device accounts or select one we previously created when configuring your user object. Please remember that you can connect only one IP phone to each SIP device account. Let's first change device name to something more sensible. For example, John's office desk. SIP logon, password and server details are what you will need in order to configure your phone. Here you can also change SIP password that may be useful if you need to block access for previous employees. This completes our PBX Introduction tutorial. We have configured a basic call flow. Video explaining how to configure and connect IP phone can be watched by pressing this link here.